Daniel Webster said, "If we work upon marble, it will perish. If we work upon brass, time will efface it. But if we work upon immortal minds, if we imbue them with principles and the just fear of God and love of our fellow man, we engrave upon those tablets something that will brighten through all eternity." Growing brighter still is the work of one such teacher come from God, Karl G. Maeser.
You said, about having a professor who cares, and it's not just another name on a sheet of paper, and reading some stories about Dr. Maeser. They said that he was a substitute father, for students, and he made sure that, he was a constant, sympathetic, and wise, supervision for them.
I read an interesting story about Karl Maeser where the Supreme Court Justice, George Sutherland, he had gone to the Brigham Young Academy. He'd had this experience where he'd come to Brigham Young Academy as a young man, and he'd been studying, he'd been very focused on academics, and he wasn't very concerned about the character building and the religion classes. And so the other boys at the school started poking fun at him and teasing him because he wasn't interested in that. And it turns out that as they pushed him further and further to the edge, one day he just exploded, and he cussed them all out. And he was afraid that he was going to get expelled for it. And so he went to the devotional the next morning, and back in the day, I guess, when you got expelled at Brigham Young Academy, they announced your name at the devotional and had you get up and leave. And so he sat there in the audience just waiting to have his name announced. But instead of hearing that, Karl G. Maeser gave a big lecture about respecting other people's choices and allowing other people to be who they wanted to be. And this boy was so touched by this lecture and by this opportunity for a second chance that he went up to Brother Maeser right afterwards and said, "I'll take all of the religion classes, I'll get the best grades anyone's ever gotten." And he went on to become a great man.
I think that's one of the things that Brother Maeser cared most about is personal integrity and strength of character. There's one person who was a student of Karl G. Maeser who decided that he wanted to have a little fun. And he was about to go into a saloon, and just before he went in there, he remembered Brother Maeser to have said, "Boys, before you ever go into a saloon, think of me." And when he thought of that, he changed his mind and he didn't go in. And that young man's father always considered Karl G. Maeser to be a savior of his son for having said that.
One story that I read about Brother Maeser, there was this woman who came and said, "My boy is just rambunctious, and I have saved up every penny to give him the opportunity to come to your school and have the chance to be changed and to become a man." And so he was accepted into the academy, and he broke all the rules. And so eventually he had to be expelled. And Brother Maeser had this time in the morning that any student could come and talk about their problems and their concerns. And so he was just sitting down early in the morning, and right away this boy came to him and he said, "Please, Brother Maeser, please give me another chance." Brother Maeser said when he saw that boy, he thought of what he had done in the school, and he just wanted to hit him in the head. That's what he said. "I just want to hit that boy square between the eyes." And then the boy said, "Please forgive me and give me another chance." And Brother Maeser realized how sad it was that that boy wanted another chance and didn't think he was going to get it. And Brother Maeser went to him and put his arms around him and said, "You will always have another chance. I'll give you 1,000 chances."
Reminds me of the experience Karl Maeser had when he was in Arizona at some state conference, and Heber J. Grant was with him, and he said, "I see 4 of my boys in the audience, and they'll be up to visit with me after the meeting because it's a bargain that he would have with them." And so after the meeting, 3 of them came up, and then they had a good visit. Then later that night, Heber Grant said to Brother Maeser, "I thought you had 4 boys. Where's the 4th one?" He's like, "Well, he's got some mud on him." He said, "Well, I'll hunt him down. I'll get him straight again." And so later, as they were leaving Arizona, Elder Grant said to Brother Maeser, "Well, did you find the young man?" He's like, "Yeah, I found him. He's on the straight and narrow. I got him going again."
And that's something that Karl G. Maeser valued so much. He said that it's not how much they learn, the knowledge that they take up, but what they become that is the true measure of their education. And being at BYU, I'm so grateful for the focus that is established here on developing your character and developing every aspect of your life.
True education, said President David O. McKay, seeks to make men and women not only good mathematicians, proficient linguists, profound scientists, or brilliant literary lights, but also honest men with virtue, temperance, and brotherly love. It seeks to make men and women who prize truth, justice, wisdom, benevolence, and self-control as the choicest acquisition of a successful life.